Hello and welcome to ACCA Engage, the webcast where ACCA members have the opportunity to put their questions to Chief Executive Helen Brand, OBE, and President Martin Turner. ACCA members were invited to submit their questions during the month of July, and as in previous years, there's been a fantastic response. We would like to thank everyone who took part, and we'll be putting the most frequently asked questions to Martin and Helen today. All members who submitted a question which is not put forward today will receive an answer from the relevant national office or department within ACCA. A number of questions centred on the issue of unqualified individuals and the damage they do to business and the wider economy in the UK and elsewhere, not to mention the impact they have on ACCA members. Martin, I know this is an issue you feel strongly about. Can you outline ACCA's position on this?
Certainly. Despite our significant efforts and those of other professional bodies to lobby the UK government, unfortunately, it's unlikely that there will be a legal definition of the term accountant anytime soon. Now, as long as anyone can legally call themselves an accountant without training, qualifications or experience, there is likely to be public confusion. So we'll continue to push the issue at every possible opportunity in order to get the subject to the top of the political agenda. Now, ACCA's public relations and marketing teams are also working on initiatives to educate the public on the genuine value ACCA accountants can bring to a business, as well as the wider message of what risks come with using an unqualified, unregulated finance professional, especially to SME and public audiences. Now, additionally, marketing collateral is being produced which will highlight the benefits of using a qualified accountant over that of an unqualified. Now, these materials will soon be available online to download so that accountancy practices can use these resources as part of their sales material. ACCA practitioners have been closely involved in the process to ensure that the design and messaging meets the needs of practitioners.
Thank you, Martin. The ACCA qualification was another topic which prompted a number of questions. Helen, some members have asked if the ACCA qualification is becoming easier to pass. Can you outline the measures you're taking to ensure that the qualification maintains its value?
Firstly, the ACCA qualification is still as rigorous as ever. The ACCA professional level, which is the final qualifying programme for ACCA membership, has had a very stable pass rate at 42%, fluctuating by an average of 1.4% over the last 6 years. This is only 0.1% higher since the ACCA qualification was last restructured in 2007, which does show stability in student performance over time. In addition to the practical experience requirement, the professional examinations, which are benchmarked at the master's level, firmly guarantee the minimum standard of technical and professional skills that a qualified professional must attain. This is effectively our membership qualifying level and standard. I should also add that there are no exemptions available for any of the professional level exams. As far as entry requirements are concerned, it must be emphasised that it is a minimum exit standard which should be of more importance to employers and regulators. This minimum employment standard is independent of whether students actually enter the qualification with a degree or not. ACCA's belief is that candidates develop and grow intellectually in different ways on their student journey with ACCA, reflecting their different entry points to satisfy the required membership standard. All of this is, of course, entirely consistent with ACCA's core values of opportunity and diversity. On the question about whether exams will get easier in the future, there is no evidence that suggests that our move to more work-relevant, multi-structured examinations should lead to a higher pass rate. However, it is important for ACCA exams and requirements to more accurately reflect the world of work and to remain vocationally relevant. This is best achieved by exams having an appropriate blend of short and multitask style objective tests along with longer freestyle expert mark questions. Such a blend of questions allows examiners and their teams to assess much more broadly across a whole syllabus at each examination point, while at the same time examining the core areas validly and to a sufficient depth. This helps ACCA to have greater assurance that our education providers and students teach and study more broadly and effectively. ACCA continues to refresh its syllabuses annually in order to remain relevant, with reference to a number of sources including stakeholder consultation, accounting and auditing standards, legislation and compliance with regulations and educational guidelines. Finally, allowing students more opportunities to retake exams again sooner should be welcomed. This gives students a better chance of retaining the knowledge and skills they've already learned and allows them to focus only on their specific areas of weakness. This flexibility is attractive to students, to education providers and to employers.
Going on to something slightly different now, and some members have asked whether a tiered membership fee based on local conditions would be considered by ACCA. Helen, what can you tell us about the membership fee at this time?
We've initiated a pricing review with an initial focus on student fees to ensure that those with the ambition and aptitude to enter the profession are not prohibited from joining ACCA due to just cost. We also intend to conduct a review of members' fees next year to ensure that we continue to offer fees that are fairly priced. I'm pleased to say that following last year's price freeze, ACCA Council has approved that the membership fee for 2015 will only be increased marginally to £211. I believe that this represents excellent value in return for the benefits and services provided to members, such as increased earnings potential, opening doors to raise your profile and broaden your professional network, providing international mobility in your career, and of course being looked after by our round-the-clock customer support team. Members who are facing hardship may be entitled to reduced subscriptions, and further details of this can be found on the website.
We will now go on to the subject of ACCA recognition in markets, where we've had a number of questions focusing on different markets all over the globe. Since each market has its own unique environment and circumstances, we will address each of these individually. We'll be starting by looking at Pakistan. Martin, can you outline what work has been undertaken or is planned in relation to recognition in Pakistan?
In terms of Pakistan, we're focusing on market recognition. Now, this is largely private sector driven and a product of demand and supply, where we continue to be the number one choice for industry. Now, evidence of this was a recent campaign we ran called Big Brands Recruit ACCAs, where organisations such as Nestle, Coca-Cola, AkzoNobel, K Electric, CDC, Kansai Paints, all lent their names to support ACCA recruitment. Now, in total, there are over 300 employers in Pakistan which are playing a positive part in training and employing ACCAs. On behalf of its students and members, ACCA also took steps to get the qualification recognised by the Higher Education Commission to a master's degree level. So to date, over 300 members have applied for equivalence to the HEC to support their migration applications to the Middle East and to access jobs in the public sector where such recognition is a precondition. ACCA also obtained clarification from the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan that made clear that the Code of Corporate Governance permits ACCAs to act as CFOs and company secretaries of listed companies. Now, in the long run, our aim is to develop new employer relations across all sectors and in new cities. As a result, we're opening offices in 3 more cities. We've just signed a major agreement with the Muslim Commercial Bank to support ACCA training there, and we have 6 memorandums of understanding with chambers of commerce in Karachi, Lahore, Rawalpindi, Islamabad, Multan and Faisalabad to grow our employability agenda with SMEs.
And not moving too far away, we also had a number of questions that came in regarding ACCA's activity in Nepal. Helen, could you outline the kind of activity that's been going on in Nepal?
Of course. Nepal is currently being managed by our Emerging Asia team based in Singapore. Over the last year, we've been meeting with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal to discuss matters of mutual cooperation and recognition in Nepal. We're considering exemptions for ICANN members who wish to gain the ACCA qualification, and we are in the process of formally agreeing the exemptions for Nepal ACCA members so they may obtain ICANN membership. As members may well appreciate, the discussions have been delicate and have been ongoing over the course of the last year. We're looking initially to formalise relationships with ICANN through an MOU, which will also give clear direction